Hey guys, this is Laura Craigie here with another Seam Double video, and today I have it a bit thought out in the sense that it just kind of came together so quickly in my head once I picked my picture. And it's this picture right here. It's two pictures on a 4x6 print from last winter, and the very sad story is that I have a big memory card with my camera and I tend to forget to take the pictures off, and I think I had like 5 months of pictures on it before I took it off and put it on my computer and maybe printed off just a tiny handful of photographs, like none from Christmas, none from my son's second birthday, and one of my kids deleted it. So I have none of those pictures from like 5 months of time last year. Halloween, Christmas, his second birthday, all winter, just everything's just gone. And so I'm so glad I took the time and printed this one picture back then. I really wish I'd done more, and I'm a bit actually I'm a lot heartbroken about it, but what can you do? I don't know. It's a good reminder for you guys out there to back up your photographs. Don't just leave them in a folder on your desktop like I did and have one of your kids drag them over to the trash can. So very sad. But anyhow, I'm happy I have this, and looking at this picture just instantly reminded me of the pattern paper and stamp that I have from October Afternoon Silent Night line. It's the snow and the birch trees. There's pattern paper of the same image, and then obviously the background stamp, which is what I'm going to use today. Probably the pattern paper too. Anyhow, it kind of matches because I have the bare trees here with the snow falling, and it works really well. So I think I wanted to stamp this in white, which is why I chose the craft here, and then I wanted to have the craft just fit perfectly on top of a white piece of cardstock, and then I totally mismeasured when I cut, and I have this big strip here of extra white, so I may align it in the middle or off the side or who knows what, but whatever. I wasn't going to worry about wrecking another piece of craft paper just to cut it again. If I make a mistake, I work with it, so I'm going to work with it. And so the only thing I pre-did was cut out one of these 3x4 cards, and I'll show you guys. It's from this paper from Silent Night, so it's got all the cute patterns on the back and all these little cards, and I cut this one out, and then I printed my journaling and sized that to go kind of right in there. Actually, I didn't size it, I just guessed it, it worked, so I'm happy. And yeah, so I thought I would take this stamp, as I said, and stamp it with some white ink onto the craft paper. And I'll probably have a bunch of stuff in the middle, so I'm only going to stamp on the top and the bottom and then hope that the middle gets covered up. I just don't need to waste time doing that. And this is a cling stamp. These are the rubber clings. I don't have an acrylic block that big, so I'm not even going to worry about it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink it up and push it down onto the paper. And it probably will be a little bit splotchy because I don't have a brayer. I really need to buy one. But I'm not going to worry about that again. I tend to not worry about those things. I definitely never strive for perfection, or I would go crazy. So this is, I think I've used in another video, one of my absolute favorite ink pads. It's a great white ink and I just love it. So I'm going to try and line that up in the corner. And as I said, if I had a brayer, this would be a lot better. I don't, so I'm just going to kind of push it down. Like that. And I don't know if that's a bit hard to see, but it's stamped just beautifully. It's such a pretty stamp. I love it. And I'm going to go ahead and do it again on this side and down at the bottom, and then I will come back and finish the page. You guys just don't need to see me stamping it out 4 times. That'd be a little boring. So, be back in a second. Alright, so I finished doing the stamping on the 4 corners like I said I was going to, and then I decided to pull out my white Uniball pen and did like a little ticking line all the way around the perimeter of it, and then I did end up cutting off that tiny little strip of white. I just decided I really don't care if my page is a little bit smaller in the page protector. Yeah, at all. I don't care. So I cut off the little extra strip and I feel immensely happier. And now I can get on with the rest of the page. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere a little journaling to this card as well. And I will probably run that through my sewing machine in a little bit. I just kind of want to get a good general idea of where I want this page to go. And I have some little stars here you can see in a little jar. And I figured I'd probably like sprinkle a couple of these, maybe the white ones and the silver, and kind of on the page, and I don't know. No idea, but I just have those there, so kind of threw a couple on. I do know that I wanted to add some strips of pattern paper down at the bottom, and because I want there to be a lot more of the trees visible up top and less at the bottom, but I kind of want the pictures to be in the center. So I have that same sheet of pattern paper that I was referring to. Isn't it beautiful? I just love it. And as well as this wood grain one, which is the back of this pattern paper, which is beautiful in its own right, and I love them. So what I was thinking is cutting a strip of this one, and then a strip of this as well, but if I cut straight off the top, I won't be able to see the lines of the kind of the planks, so I want to do it a little like that. And maybe just 2 small strips like that underneath the photograph. Maybe like an inch and an inch and a half or something. Just kind of haphazardly cut those and see what I think. So I cut off the strips and again, didn't measure them, just like that. And I was kind of debating over which one I want to go on the top or not. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and adhere those down and just, like I say, not even going to measure, and I'm just going to stick them down and then trim off the excess. Alright, so I finished doing a bunch of sewing on the page, and then I tucked a little tab. This is, again, from Silent Night, from one of the little doodads or tidbit sets. I'm not sure which one. I will have it linked up in the video, and just have it up there for now. I don't know. Just thought it needed a little something up there. And I have the brads and these stickers from the line, and I thought I would try and incorporate maybe some pops of red onto the page. It might be hard to see. I have still a couple leaves in the trees that are red, and then on his little mittens, those are red. So I'm just going to see if I could incorporate that, as well as this sticker that says Snow Day, or maybe the Winter Wonderland here. I'm not 100% certain, but I kind of like something a little like that. Maybe this little sticker that says Rosy Cheeks, put it in the little lines there on the tab. And then maybe incorporate red down here. We have Warm and Cozy. That could work. Because they're warm and cozy in these little mittens. And then Joyful or Blessed. Blessed works, I think. Right above it. So like that. I like the little addition of the red. And I feel like I need a little probably third bit of red down here to make a visual triangle, and maybe I'll see if I have brads that work for that. Again, I'm not 100% certain about that. I've just kind of stuck it there for now. So I am a bit obsessed with these brads, so I have 2 packages here, and see which ones I have left from each that will match this page. And I might sprinkle or use them kind of like just a little sprinkle down on the page, kind of like I would with an enamel dots, but they're cute little brads instead. So maybe have that red one down there to be the visual triangle. And there's a beautiful little snowflake one here. So let's see if I can incorporate that somewhere too, maybe there as well. I think I'm going to take the little blue ones from here. If I decide to use this piece at a later date, I can just get different brads, but I like the blue of these. Kind of matches the page really well. Again, I'm not going to put those down because I'm not 100% sure of the placement. I also have from October Afternoon these label stickers. These are from the Farm Girl line. I've used them a lot. I'm onto another sheet here. For me, this is such a staple of a color that I can just find myself using it on everything. So that's why for me it was a great idea to buy another sheet. Let's see if I can't put a little label sticker down here as a way to ground the brads. Otherwise, I mean, the whole point of them is I wanted them floating, but I don't want them that floating. And then I'll keep the rest of that sticker for another time. Maybe even on this page of the card, I'm not sure. And I'm gonna go ahead and poke some holes for these brads. Like that. On my desktop, I have my Tim Holtz mini paper clips, which I'm sorry if you guys are sick of, but I tend to put those on everything right now. I just find they're a cute little embellishment to add to my pages. Alright, so I can't remember where I left off. I got distracted and I had to pause the video and go do stuff, so I'm back now. Anyhow, I do believe I wanted to add some words and stuff down here, and I'm using these alphas. These are the Daily Flash Meringue Storybook alphas. There's actually a little mini alphabet on the back. They're fabulous. Probably maybe not in the store when I'm filming. When this goes live, hopefully in a couple of days. I know the Daily Flash is shipping to stores right now as I'm filming this, so it might be in the store, might not. Eventually it will be, and when it does come, you're going to want to pick up these alphabets because they're just a fabulous font. I love, 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 love them. And I really couldn't think of a font that I wanted more on this page. And also, it makes me realize, because I did look for an alternative, I really just don't have very many white alphabets. I don't know why I don't. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So I need to get more. But in the meantime, I have these, and I really wanted to use them, so I am. And I hope that they're in the store soon for you guys. They're just the cutest little kind of scripty font here, and I'm just lining them up with my stitching line down here. Okay, so I finished out his name down there, and I still need to add a couple more things to the page just before it feels really finished. And I have some little snowflakes here. These I actually cut no punch, although you could definitely use your silhouette machine, and I used them on vinyl. So just because I had it laying around and I knew it would match, and yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and add some of these little snowflakes to the page. I like the addition of the couple snowflakes there, and I'm starting to feel a little more done with the page, so I think at this point I'm gonna move on to the card. And then, if you've watched my videos, you know I usually come back and add something to the page afterwards, but at this point, I'm going to call it done for the moment and move on to my card. Okay, so I'm going to get started work on my card, and I'm going to use the wood grain stamp that I showed earlier, as well as one of these little 3x4 cards. These are from the digital files from the two-piece store, and it's a set of, I think, 6 of these. And I printed off 4 of them that I thought I would use. The other ones are actually it's like a solid red with white writing, and I honestly don't have a ton of ink in my printer, so I just printed off the ones that would use the least amount of ink for this. And I'll probably use, I don't know, maybe one of those two. I think I like for the sentiment of my card, and I thought I'd pair the red with silver. I think red and silver kind of go really nice together. And I'm going to try stamping this wood grain stamp with Versamark, and then I'm going to heat emboss it, stamp it and heat emboss it with silver. So hopefully it looks nice. I haven't tried this stamp with embossing powder yet, and if it's not perfect, that's okay too. Ooh, okay, so it's actually taken some of the color, I don't know if you can see, from the last time I used the stamp, so should be okay because the embossing powder should kind of cover that. It's completely covered in the silver, so you can't see the blue ink from the last time I used it, so that's good. Alright, so I'm just going to heat emboss the image here with my embossing gun. Alright, so I finished cutting out my stamped image and I've adhered it to a card base. And I've debated back and forth on which one of these to use, and I think I'm going to go with this one. It's the most wonderful time of the year, and I've actually trimmed it down because I wanted to see a lot more of the embossed background. It's just so beautiful. So that's what I did there, and I'm going to go ahead and pull out the wood grain paper that I had before, and I just want a little section of it just to kind of tie in with the page and just have a little bit of a spot there, because I'm going to do something similar like I did on the corner of the bottom of the page and add some little brads and stuff, and I want a piece of paper to ground that. So I'm just going to trim off a really small piece and adhere it to the card there. And I'll zoom in for you guys here now that I'm working on the card. I don't know if that's a little better. And I'll just go ahead and adhere that. That's not very good adhesive. Okay, I don't know where I put my ATG gun. I'll have to find it because that didn't work very well. So, like that, and then, okay, there it is. I'll add this one down. I'm not going to be sewing on this card, so I'm going to make sure I get enough adhesive that these aren't going anywhere. And as I said, I thought I'd pull out those brads again and see if I can't find some that I can just sprinkle on it again. That red one. Little red one. Start with that, and again, oh, my desk is a disaster, guys. Okay. Okay, back to these stickers. See if I can get some of those on here. So I have this star here, and it's actually a really kind of shiny one, so I'm going to see if I can't get that on here. And I thought it would look really nice because the embossing powder is so shiny, to add something else that kind of is really shiny on here. Like that. And for these brads, I don't want to, because I haven't done any machine sewing, the inside of the card is really kind of perfect. So I'm going to actually cut off the prongs and adhere these with glue dots, maybe a little like that, or I may change my mind and sew on the card, I don't know. You know what, I think I will. I'm going to sew on the card. I'm going to do a perimeter stitch here, and I think that'll help tie these little stickers in, and see about that. And maybe I'll just, I don't mind that. Maybe I'll go with those two, and I'll do a bit of machine stitching, and then I'll come back and I'll add my brads. I still will cut off the prongs and use glue dots, because I just don't want, I never mind stitching on the inside of my cards, but brad prongs are a little much for me, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back to finish things up. Alright, so I finished my perimeter stitch around there, and I cut the prongs off the little brads here, and I'm going to try and figure out where I want them to go. So I'm just going to add glue dots to the back of them, like I said. And sometimes if it's really goes in there, I'll add two, just so that it's really, or three. Okay, so I don't know, I haven't pushed it down, I just kind of temporarily put it down there, and then this one is such a small one that I have to use tiny little glue dots, and that's okay. And I always layer up a couple of them because there's quite a hole to fill once you've removed the prongs. So, I don't know, just putting them down anywhere really, and I'm going to put this star back on. Try both sides. I had the big side before, I think. I like the little small side there. And you know what I might do is I've done two brads here, I might go for another third one, maybe in green, and put a tiny little green one in there. There's this little green one here. Alright, so finally I have this other little brad ready to go, and I just added some glue dots again and was able to put it in the little hole there. So I really like the way this card has turned out. I'm not going to add a ton more because I feel like I wanted the really focal point to be the embossed stamped background. I am, however, going to pull my page back out and since I added the little paper clips here, I think I'm going to go ahead and try and add these paper clips back to this page. I had wanted them on there from the very beginning just because they're really cute and they kind of fit with the page. And I can do hangover on the sides because I've trimmed the page down to be smaller than it was. So I'm going to try that and just add one of these paper clips to each side of the page. And maybe even pull this one over that. So like that. And I do like the addition of those on here when I put them like that. Okay guys, so I'm calling it done on my projects today, and I feel like they don't look as matchy-matchy as my saying double videos tend to be, and that's largely in part because I chose to use the silver embossing on this card, and I really thought the card needed it. It's such a just a beautiful thing for a Christmas card and was really appropriate. Whereas this page I used, again, a background stamp, which is kind of my theme for this week, but it's so much more subtle with the white on the craft, which is my favorite way to use this stamp pad by Hero Arts. Just on the craft paper, the white on the craft, it's so beautiful and just one of my favorite things to do. So yeah, that's it. So this week was kind of about using our background stamps, which I'm guilty of not using often enough, but I'm going to pull them out more often, especially after today. I had so much fun using them, and I hope you guys feel a little inspired to use yours too, and that would be my challenge for this week, is to pull them out and make use of them. And that's it for this week. I hope you guys had fun watching. I have only one more Saying Double video left for the year. I don't know, it's just flown by, and Christmas is almost here, and I'm just so excited, and yeah, that's really it. I'm rambling now. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you next time, and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.